We learn that one of the signs in the end of times, Islamic eschatology, is the sun will rise from the west. Before the physical event, the ulama say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give us spiritual signs. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will continue to show the signs on the horizons and within ourselves. This is in the Quran. If we but just open our eyes, we will see that Al-Islam rose in the east, and it spread across from Arabia all the way through most of the east of the world. Our big hadith scholars were not from Arabia, were from around what we know today is Russia. Al-Islam then left Arabia and it went as far as Indonesia through the Indo-Pak regions. And when we think of the Muslim world, this is where we focus on. But what is happening today? Now the tide is turning. Today, Al-Islam has been regulated. It's barely practiced in our so-called Muslim worlds. The Sharia is just put down, not even followed, or only small parts followed. We have a lot of bid'ah, and a lot of the Western and Islamic culture is now throughout the Muslim world, which is predominantly in the east of our planet Earth. Today, there are masjids built, but no one praying. Our women are leaving the hijab in so-called Muslim worlds. There is no outward or even inner sign of Al-Islam in our brothers. But Alhamdulillah, we see the rise of Al-Islam now throughout the West. We see hundreds, thousands of people weekly returning to their fitrah and coming into the fold of Al-Islam through reciting the Shahada, returning back to the truth. We see the ulama now leaving the east and coming to the west. We see masjids arising. We see Islamic institutes growing. We see the freedom of Al-Islam throughout the West. We see Imams that can deliver khutbahs with no problems, no restrictions. Islamic bookshops, radio stations, TV stations, rising throughout the West. The freedom to express yourself as a Muslim, even though there are issues, is far greater than what one can practice in the East. We see a return to polymathic thinking in the West, which was the birthplace of it was in the East. We see a return to the natural way of understanding the elements of the body. The rise of the Hakim, the polymath in the East, is now taking place in the West. We see people in the West are concerned about the natural world. We see people are agitated, are concerned about society, politics, the injustice, the oppression, We see people in the West with good akhlaq. The only thing that they are missing is La ilaha illallah. We see organizations that are now springing up which want to understand the natural world, which want to penetrate the natural world, to understand it, to observe, to help support. Help support what? Help support Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's creation. Even though some of their thinking and their mindsets may be wrong, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide them, but they are doing more to preserve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's creation here in the West than what is happening in the East. We see a change, a transition, and the transition will happen, and then the transformation will take place. Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. Iqra began in the East. It's now rising in the West.